Welcome to Jewish Museum Milwaukee's Museum Moments. We are rounding out our year. And actually, this is our 90th museum moment, which is hard to believe that when we started this kind of pandemic programming in March, that in December we'd still be here and doing it. As of January, we're going to keep going with our museum moments, but we'll be doing one a week instead of two. So I'm delighted in our last installment of Museum Moments for 2020 to invite in my friend, Dr. Amanda Ruppenthal Stein, who is a musicologist and is going to kind of go through this strange connection between Jews and Christmas music. And Amanda, welcome to Museum Moments.
Hi, Ellie. Thanks so much for having me.
So we know there's some big songs that were written by Jews and that are connected with Christmas. What gives? Why? And what should we know about this trend?
Well, I think it boils down to immigration, which is a really important topic, and the topic that's continuing today. The rise of Christmas music sort of starts out of that Tin Pan Alley world in the 1920s and just continues.
So Tin Pan Alley, though, was dominated by Jewish composers.
Mm-hmm.
So they are kind of setting an agenda to say, hey, wait, now that music publishing is happening, we think that there's a market here.
Yeah, the American market's really interesting for music because we get these catchy songs and these sheet musics, these like physical printed pieces of paper that are coming out of those world, and so people know them. This is the rise of radio. This is the rise of like our early films and our early film musicals, and the Jews were really a part of that world in New York, and then even as that is spreading into Hollywood, California.
Is there a sense that this is because they've kind of been around Christmas as young people growing up in America that they saw these pieces together, and this was their way of kind of becoming part of the American experience, or was it just a kind of just a sense of there's money here, there's a market to be had? What's the
I think it's both. As you know, a lot of my research is looking at Jews as they're assimilating back in Europe in the previous century. And what I found in my work when I've been looking at Germany is this idea that Christmas was a really secular experience. And if you want to be part of your nation, whatever your nation is, be that Germany or be that Russia, or like in Moscow or St. Petersburg or something, or in New York and America, kind of being a part of that experience was part of the Jewish experience, not the religious part of Christmas, but that sort of emblematic idea of home and togetherness and all of that, that wasn't necessarily seen as something that was like, I'm not Jewish because I'm going to embrace this, but it was something that was a part of German identity or American identity. But yes, also there's money in there, right? You get a hit song, and you take your family from like you're the child of immigrants, and you want to make your fame, and your song gets played on the radio. Your song sells lots of 5-cent sheet musics. Yeah.
Suddenly, you're not living on the Lower East Side any longer. Let's go into some of those famous hits. You know, I think by this one count we found, there are over 30 songs, Christmas songs written by Jewish composers. Successful, well-known songs, you know, that are not just like us digging, but like, so what are some of the things that you think of? And should I share your slide?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up. So you and I started this talking about Rudolph and talking about kind of White Christmas as our two big ones. But you got my screen up?
I do.
Sorry,
you can only see one screen at a time. There's always here the challenge. Yeah.
You're the pro. Oops. All right. Well,
we're looking at Irving Berlin or Newsweek's top 6.
There we go. Newsweek's top 6. I can't see you, but I know you're there.
I'm here. I see you. You're gorgeous.
All right. Perfect. Let's leave it there. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so I found this link on Newsweek of our top 6 Christmas songs by Jews, and shockingly, Ellie, this doesn't have White Christmas on it, which you and I were
which I think is kind of the most iconic of Christmas songs written by Jews.
But this great list is pretty fun because it has a Rudolph song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting on the Open Fire, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Silver Bells, that ridiculous Santa Baby song.
I'm seeing the dance in my head right now.
And then I've got that list of that other, closing in on 50 here, I think. Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Some of these that I think have maybe fallen out of our common repertoire. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Looking at this list, there is this kind of universality, which I think speaks to that immigrant experience, that this is mostly about season and the kind of secular culture around Christmas. You've got Santa, you've got holidays and coming together, but you don't have a lot of reflection on, as some people would say, the reason for the season.
Yeah, these are not religious songs, and that's important, and that's a really important distinction that I think that we find. These are not, the Jews were not in New York in particular or anything. They were not writing hymns. They were not writing the songs that someone was going to sing in their church services. A lot of those were imports from Europe anyway, but they were from the European Protestants and Catholics. But they were writing those festive songs that make up the soundtrack and the soundscape of winter and of December. And I, just as I was going through these, I wasn't seeing any, sometimes not even really referencing things like a Christmas tree necessarily. It's just, sleigh bells and warmth and family. And that, I'm going to just switch back to that other slide for a second. Bring this big. So Ellie, I looked at an encyclopedia on, it's called the Grove Encyclopedia, which is like the Encyclopedia Britannica in my field. And the writer of that wrote this really great line. He said, very few songs expressed a Jewish content, whereas many reflected a Jewish context, the home, the family, and emigration from a native homeland. And the idea that these songs are not Jewish. We don't need to say that these songs need to have some sort of Jewish, they sound like klezmer music or synagogue music, but instead they have some context that sounds familiar to us and that I think we can kind of get on board with, even though they're ostensibly about another religion's holiday.
And we're back.
Am I still there?
You're still there. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. Not a problem.
Could you hear me?
No, you just stopped as we got to this slide. So let's go back to just read us the things that you were interested in this slide. It's all good.
Sorry. I don't know. So this is from my encyclopedia of like what I do in my world, like our Encyclopedia Britannica. And I searched Jews and Christmas just to see what I could come up. And the scholar that wrote this, he says that very few of the songs express Jewish content, but many reflect a Jewish context, home, family, immigration from a native homeland. So this idea that these songs, they don't sound like Jewish music. We wouldn't like put these in with like, oh, these are the best Jewish songs we've ever heard. But we have things about them that I think we as members of the Jewish community find really familiar. And I like that word universal that you use. That's really important.
I think that it's that sense of that I think it really does give you that kind of sense of close reading of these pieces and that focus on home and family, which if you just shifted from the jingle bells, that you could have this sense of this being a Hanukkah song just as easily, because it's all about light and warmth and, and a winter holiday. But because that's not the context of American music writing, and certainly not successful from a lucrative standpoint until maybe the last 10, 15 years, there hasn't been this kind of birth of grand Hanukkah music.
No, our Hanukkah music, and that's a lecture for another day, but our Hanukkah music is almost all kids' music. If we think about the music that we have, there's not a lot of real heavy, deep, soulful they're charming and they're lovely, but there are a lot of children's songs that we come to with Hanukkah. So I'm not sure here if maybe Ellie got logged off here, and if I am still on this, I'm hoping that Ellie will be back. So I'm just going to pause for a moment, see if we can grab her.
I'm here.
I was just talking to the screen.
Yes, today is the day. It's the last museum moment of the year, and so today's going to be the day we have technical difficulties. So we'll leave off the slides and we'll just talk a little bit. Let's talk Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Great.
Like the guy Rudolph wrote, and I'm not sure, I might have lost a minute.
Maybe Ellie got logged off here, and if I am still on this, I'm hoping